y'all. Hi my babies, hi my babies, hi. Welcome back to episode 3 of When You Don't Know You Have a Damaged Inner Child. I hope these videos have been helpful for y'all because of y'all giving me a way to fulfill my purpose, and I'm grateful for y'all. So let's go ahead and get into episode 3. This is when we got arrested. Okay. Whoo, this is when we got arrested. So it was May 14, 2009. I will never forget the date. I was literally it was a Thursday. I was literally 4 days away from starting college. And I was in the process of filling out the application to work at my mama's job and stuff. So I was, trying to stay on top of the steps that they needed me to take. So it's like I had different steps I had to take, come back and do this, come back. So it was like I was in the process of that. So my sister's cousin had got him a job with a local group home for, adults and stuff. And so he was working there. And like he would vent to me about his job. Because when he first moved in, he had a job and he would vent to me about it. He worked at a warehouse, but he quit because he said his back hurt. He quit because he said his back was hurting too bad. Yeah, but so at this job, like he would vent to me and he would tell me like, what he would go through and stuff, and I really didn't like it because it's a group home, that group home, and there's another group home out here. I don't know about all the group homes in the world, but I know those two particular group homes. I know people that have worked there, and they both had told them when they get out of control, the adults that are mentally challenged, when they get out of control, to beat on them, basically punch them, make them sit down. Yeah, and this is why I fight for the things I fight for. Because I don't feel like no human being should be treated like that. But, So, he got off at work at 10, and me, my mom, and my sister rode to go pick him up. And I rode in the back so he could get in the back with me. And we got back to the crib probably around 10:30, a little before 10:30, because it took a little minute to come out. And when we was pulling into the apartment complex, it was a group of guys standing on the corner. And I was like, oh gosh, she about to go over there with them. So he decided to get out the car, go halfway up the steps, almost get to the door and be like, I'm going to go and ask one of them, they got a cigarette. Okay, you knew you wanted to go over there with them, so why not just say, okay, well, I won't go over there with them. So I went in the crib. Okay, I went in the crib. And I started making our bed because when he moved in, my mama said he could stay there, but she said the stipulation is that he can't sleep in my bed or he can't sleep in my room. Cause me and my sister shared a room, and he couldn't sleep in the room with me. So we took a whole bunch of blankets up front because he had to sleep in the living room, and we would lay the blankets down on the floor, and I slept with that man for a year and some change on the floor, and I had a whole bed in the back. That's how much I loved him. I was trying to think like a wife, y'all. I was trying to think like a wife, y'all. See, and this is something I'm definitely going to teach my children. Get your life together first before love. Like, focus on your goals. So, this is what happens when you're not properly loved as a child, y'all. Or when you have a mother who doesn't want to tell you that you're beautiful growing up because she says she didn't want it to go to my head. Yeah. So, he goes over there with them. I'm in the crib. I lay down the blankets and stuff, and I make 2 bologna sandwiches. I made one for me, I made one for him. And I cut the TV on because that's what we would do when he would get off of work. He would come in, we would eat and stuff, and we would watch TV, discuss our day. And we would either make love or just go to sleep. Okay? Even though, we had issues and problems, we were trying to work on it. And the fact that he was putting in effort, I appreciated it. I got this homeboy named Bezo. Well, I had a homeboy named Bezo. And there was rumors going around that he got shot or that he was in the hospital, he was on ICU, and then they even went so far to say that the man died. So when he was down there, just so happened Bezo was down there. He called me, he was like, my nickname was Bean. He was like, Bean. He was like, you ain't gonna believe who's down here. You ain't gonna believe who's down here. I was like, who? He was like, Bezo. I was like, what? I'm about to come down there and see my nigga right now. So I kept hearing this sound. I'm like, what is that sound? So I come outside, and because where they at, they on the corner. So they standing on the sidewalk that leads up to my apartment complex, and I stay all the way in the back of the apartment complex. So I got to walk to the front of the court and turn the corner. So I'm like, what is that sound? Like the whole time I was making the bed and the bologna sandwiches. Come to find out, I come outside, it was the fire department. a lady 2 buildings over had her baby in the toilet. She thought she had to pee, and come to find out she was giving birth. And she had a baby in the toilet. So the fire department was out there. So it was people outside, because they were like, oh, damn, the lady had a baby in the toilet. You know how people are. We nosy. Like, damn, the lady had a baby in the toilet. That shit, wow. So I'm out there, and I'm chopping it up with Bezo and some of the OGs and stuff. And I look down, and it's this big-ass case of canned malt liquor and stuff. And I see him with the can of malt liquor in his hand and stuff. But I'm thinking, you only been down here for no more than 30 minutes. Ain't no way in hell you drunk. And not off that little ass 12 ounce can. Ain't no way in hell you drunk, my G. Oh, he was. I didn't know. Oh, just wait for it. I didn't know. Okay? So, we all outside chopping it up, this, that, and the third. And Officer Gibbs rolls up on us. And he got his flashlight out. He was like, hey, you. Didn't I tell you I ain't want to see you out here no more? What you doing out here? He talking to my ex-fiance. I'm completely taken aback. I'm like, the fuck going on? I'm like, the fuck is going on? So, I'm like, he talking to you. Then it's like, he like, I'm tired of you harassing me and this, that, and the third. Come to find out my ex-fiance had been warned by the police, more than once out there, because it was police officers that stayed out there, and they got to have their rent for free, long as they, you know, play security and stuff, don't have people, you know, standing around, this, that, and the third. But we was on a public sidewalk, though, and won't no sign posted that said no trespassing, no loitering, none of that. There was no sign posted. And y'all know the lady just had her baby in the toilet, so everybody outside. Okay, y'all know we nosy. Everybody outside, right? So he talking real aggressive to my ex-fiance, and my ex-fiance bucking back. I'm like, yo, you bucking on a police officer? Because up to that point in time, I had no issues with police officers. I've been around nice police officers most of my life. I won't around them all the time, but when I was around them, they was nice to me. So I'm like, why is he bucking at you like that, this, that, and the third? So they going back and forth, and he was like, yeah, I'm tired of you harassing me. And I'm like, nigga, you bucking on a police officer, chill out. And all I know is the police officer put his hand on his gun, and he got his flashlight out, but he put his hand on his gun. And when I saw him do that, they was like this far apart from each other. I squeezed in between them. I was like, yo, if you gonna take him, you gonna have to take me first. Because he was threatening to arrest him. I was like, if you gonna take him, you gonna have to take me first. He said, oh, really? He said, I'll be right back. So Bezo pulled us to the side. He was like, listen, I'm trying to tell you, you don't want to get into it with the police. You're not going to win in court. And it's actually something in the Bible that says that. It was like, basically, don't get into it with a judge. Because, or like, it's something like, y'all know, okay, I'm learning it. Okay, I'm learning. But it's something like that. Like, basically, don't get into it, like, with a judge and then try to take them to court. Because basically, the court system is going to side with them. It's the same thing with police officers. They're going to side with them, yo. So, remind you, this was 2009. This was before Trayvon Martin. And I do thank God, because I do know if it was after Trayvon, Shorty wouldn't be here. And this is why I be like, yo, God is real. And I don't mind telling people God is real. Because God can spare Shorty from some shit. Do you hear me? Okay? From some shit. So he was like, all right, I'll be right back. Bezo put us to the side. He's trying to, you know, talk some sense into us. I'm not thinking we about to get into with police officers, but this nigga Nuck, if you bucking, he ready to just, you know, fly out the window with it. And I'm not knowing this. I'm thinking it's over with. So it's this particular police officer. Her name is O'Brien. And she's a Caucasian lady. Gibbs is a African American. And then she also has a boyfriend who's a police officer. I do not remember his name, but he's a Caucasian male as well. And I kept hearing about Officer O'Brien, how you don't want to fuck with her. She drive a drop top, and she vicious, and she'll arrest your ass in a second, and she don't play this and the third. Boy, when I said that lady come barking at us so goddamn nasty, and I'm like, wait a minute. Like, we already met. What you got an issue with me for? I met her and her boyfriend before, because my ex-fiance's baby mama came over my crib at 7 a.m. in the morning and trying to kick my damn door in and left a gap in my damn door. And he wouldn't let me go out there and fight the girl because she wanted to drop their daughter off because she claimed she wanted to go fill in job applications. And I ain't gonna lie, I've been kicked it with her. She probably was trying to fill out job applications, but he was mad because her boyfriend brought her over there. My G, you got a whole damn fiance. You done left her out back. Like, why is you... That's what I'm saying. He has this possessive thing about him. Okay? It's like he just feels like he has to be the one in control. And if you don't go along with his program, then he's going to degrade you or make you out to be the bad guy. And I didn't realize all of that. And his baby mama tried to tell me that. I didn't realize all of that. So she done fucked around and left the door. Because he was like, no, I'm not opening up the door. How you not going to open up the door for your daughter? I don't care if she called or not. I'm like, open up the door. He was like, no, because she should have called and scheduled. bro, that's your daughter. I don't give a fuck she's scheduled or not. That's your daughter. The fuck? I was like, what the fuck, bro? But I'm mad because she kicked my door and I want to fight her for that. She leave her. She just leaves out the building and their daughter is crying to the top of their lungs. Mommy, mommy. She ain't got her shoes on. She at the bottom of the steps crying for her mom to come back. And he opened up the door. He go downstairs and get her. One of the neighbors heard her crying. So they called the police. And just so happened O'Brien and her boyfriend was the ones that came over. And they were looking in there at the furniture and stuff. And it was my grandma's furniture. They were like, oh, yeah, I got nice stuff. I was like, oh, it's my grandma's. This, that, and the third. So we had this weird-ass neighbor that stayed 2 doors over. It was this Caucasian older male that was like bald. Real bald in the center. But he had a little hair, you know, around here. And glasses. And when he seen the police, I noticed he put his head down. And like he just walked straight past them. And he walked out the door. I'm like, why he do that for? Like, why he just ain't, you know, most people, they be nosy, they be standing all in your face. I'm like, why he put his head down for? So they was like, yeah, we heard something about, you know, a child was abandoned, this, that, and the third. And then we explained what happened. It was like, we just want to make sure she's okay. So they spoke to her and they found out that she was actually okay. Because when I say she loved me the fuck down, she loved me the fuck down. That was my little baby right there. And she was like, yeah, I'm good, and this, that, and the third. So they're like, okay, well, we don't need a disturbance again, basically. And so they leave. So, come to find out, the neighbor that walked past the police with his head down, he was on the run, I think, in Tennessee. He done raped like 6 little girls, and you done left your daughter in the damn hallway. And when I say God is real, though, because he could have came and swooped her up. What if we were in the back sleep and we didn't hear her at the door and she just left her? Like, when I say God is real, though, okay? So we ended up feeding her and stuff, trying to, you know, calm her down so she wouldn't be crying and stuff. He couldn't get her to calm down, so I got her to calm down. And I fed her and stuff. We ended up going over his the hotel where his mom stayed, and she had bought her all these pretty dresses, so she got to, you know, play dressed up and stuff, and she was all happy and excited. And she came back. And I took a picture of her in her dress because she was like, I forgot to get a picture of her. So I was like, baby, put on your dress so you know, you take your picture for your grandma. So I took a picture of her in her dress, sent it to her grandma. She was so excited and she was upset she had to take the dress off. She had a little temper tantrum. She was like, no, I don't want to take it off. It was so cute. I was like, baby, you got to take it off. You got to save this for a special day. You know, she wanted to be a princess every day. And I don't blame her because when I say she was a beautiful little girl. So I remember them from that. So, O'Brien, once again, is the Caucasian female officer. Her boyfriend, we'll just nickname him DJ, because I don't remember his name. Caucasian male officer. And then Gibbs is an African-American officer. And that's who my ex-fiance was getting into it with. O'Brien pull up. Everybody just tried to disperse. She was like, nope, come back. Everybody come back. I was like, fuck. I ain't got my ID or nothing on me, because I just came out to see B-Zone. I'm supposed to go back in the house. I'm thinking me and him going back in the house. So she get to pop in. We run it out here and this, that, and the third, but it's 2 different neighborhoods. And where we are at on the sidewalk, we're standing in front of a different apartment building. And that's where I should have shut up at. And that's where I fucked up at. Always wanting to be right. Okay? Always wanting to be right. And she's like, we run this neighborhood. I'm like, but we're in such and such neighborhood right now. And she's like, it don't matter. We run this neighborhood. But I didn't understand. Because I'm like, well, the rent office told us you only have domain over this neighborhood. I'm not understanding. They police officers, you know. Like, I was 18. It won't click in. So she was like, you really starting to piss me off. I'm going to beat your ass and take you downtown. And my homeboy was like, Nina, chill out, chill out. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? So they started asking everybody for their ID and stuff. And I'm just confused. And I'm like, well, I don't have my ID. So Officer DJ, he was like, well, give me your name and give me, you know, your address. So I gave him my name and my address. And he was like, well, what's your social? And I was like, why I gotta give you my social for? Because my mama told me don't give anybody your social unless you absolutely have to. So I was just asking the police officer, why do I have to give you my social? He said, because I'm a fucking police officer. Now give me your fucking social. I was taken aback. I was like, what? So I gave him my social and stuff. And O'Brien started popping off again. We run this neighborhood. I said, but we're in such and such neighborhood though. And she was like, you know what? I'm about to beat your ass. And she jumped in my face. And her nose touched my nose. And I used to black out really bad. The last time I blacked out was when I was 19. I'm really proud of myself. Because it's hard. Because anybody that has blacked out before, trust me, I understand. If you still do black out, it is possible for you to get to a point where you do not black out anymore. You have to push yourself to get there, though. And you have to walk away from situations when they get too heated. But trust me, it is possible. but I blacked out. But I do remember I cussed him out, and my homeboy Bezo, I didn't know he was trying to drag me away from the situation. But I do remember I cussed him out, and I was like, y'all act like I'm out here selling drugs, or I'm prostituting, or I'm doing something crazy, committing a crime. I said, I'm about to start college in 4 days, and I'm looking for a job. I'm trying to do something with my life. I don't understand why y'all coming at me like that, this, that, and the third. So we ended up going back and forth, and they put me in the handcuffs. Because, I mean, when I say I was irate, y'all, I was just... Okay? So they put me in the handcuffs because I was upset. And that was disorderly conduct, class 1 misdemeanor. So they take me across the street to the cop car and shit. And they did the slavery thing to me. When they used to tie the limbs to each of a, they call them the butt, like the strongest black male. They would take 4 horses and they would tie his limb to each horse, and they would hit all the horses at the same time, so they would take off. And like basically would break your limbs and stuff, and it would basically put fear in the other slaves so they would be scared. They did the same thing to me. Y'all know I'm in handcuffs. Them bitches tight as hell, and the more you move, the tighter they get, yo. And they put them on tight already. He pulled me this way, she yanked me this way, and I had a print in my arm where her nail went into my arm. When they put me in the handcuffs, I did not say nothing, yo. I did not say nothing, yo. I was completely compliant. They slammed me on the back of the car, and I'm trying to understand why I'm getting slammed. And when I say I just completely like just went numb and was going along with it, yo, I won't fussing, I won't cussing, I won't saying nothing. They just slammed me on the back of the car. I'm thinking in my head, what the fuck I'm getting slammed for? And then they throw me into the back of the car head first. I had never been handled like that other than, of course, the obvious person. But I had never been handled like that. I'm like, what the fuck going on? Like, what the fuck did I do that bad when I was just speaking the truth? Okay, speaking the truth tends to get me in trouble. Okay? But I mean, like I told y'all, God told me they gave me this voice for a reason, for me to speak the truth. So, sometimes it's not an easy path, let me tell you. Sometimes it's not an easy path. So they throw me in the back of the car, and the window was rolled down, and my ex-fiance, he was like, what's she getting arrested for? What did she do? Why y'all arresting her? Why y'all handling her like that? This, that, and the third. And I yelled out the window. I said, stop going back and forth with them and just go get my mama. So he finally listens to me. Cause I said it like 2-3 times. Like, stop going back and forth with them. Just go get my mama. I had my phone in my back pocket. So he walks off to go get my mama. While he's walking off to go get my mama, they pull me out the back of the car again. I'm still not saying nothing. They take me and slam me on the back of the trunk again, bruh. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on, yo? I'm so confused. I'm like, I'm not saying nothing. I'm not doing. I'm being compliant. Like, what the fuck? Why am I getting slammed again? So they tried to throw me into the back of the car head first again. And I resisted. I did. I didn't let them do it. And what I did was I put myself in the back of the car. And they got mad because I did that. And I ain't let them just throw me head first. So before I could get my left ankle in, they started slamming the car door. Slamming the car door on my ankle. When I said they did that shit 5-6 times, I'm like, yo, you slamming the door on my ankle. Anybody ever been arrested, you know them car doors hurt on them police vehicles, bro. And when I said they were just opening and slamming, they laughing, bro. And they laughing, bro. When I was like, yo, you slamming the door on my ankle. And I told y'all I got a 3-time policy. When I said it the second time, I realized they was doing it on purpose because that's when they started laughing. So I kicked the door open after I said it the 3rd time. They still doing it. I'm like, this shit hurt like a bitch. My ankle's still fucked up to this day, bro. When I realized, okay, y'all doing it on purpose, I kicked the door open. I kicked the female police officer over. I got out and I headbutted the male police officer over. And both of them ended up on their ass. And I put myself in the back of the police car like a fucking lady. I sure did. What I did not know was you're not allowed to defend yourself against the police. I didn't know that. And this is why I told y'all what I told y'all. They do that shit on purpose to provoke you so you can get them class 6 felonies. And this is something that I want to fight for as well. Because all you have to do is you could accidentally, they could throw you. Matter of fact, the boy that I fought to get out, that was fighting to get out of jail, that tore up that Confederate statue, they hog-tied him. Well, not hog-tied him, but they tied his legs, his ankles together, and of course he was handcuffed. And they threw him in the back of the van. When they threw him in the back of the van, one of his feet ended up hitting a police officer, and they gave him a class 6 felony assault on police officer for that. It could be the littlest thing, and they do it on purpose all the time because they know it's gonna fuck up your life, and they know it's gonna cause more stress. And I'm tired of it, bro. And that's what be going on in some of these and a lot of them, most of them, yo, these police brutality videos where they be, unfortunately, the people lose their life. It's because they're taunting them and they're doing things to them. The same thing with Sandra Bland. That's why I call myself the Sandra Bland of Pistol City, because it was the same thing. When I'm sitting there watching that video, I'm like, God damn, it's like the same thing. It's like she's standing her ground and she's saying, you know, she's saying the truth, and it's like you can't take it, so then you just gonna mishandle her, mistreat her any way that you want to. When I say, bro, when you in that situation, I don't know how to describe it, bro. I don't know how to describe it, bro, when you in that situation. I didn't realize what I did technically by law was wrong. I'm thinking morally what I'm doing is right because I'm defending myself, because you purposely doing it. So the male police officer got up. He was like, we're on a whole different level now. I didn't know I just became a felon, bro. I caught 2 of them, 1 for each police officer. Class 6 felony assault on police officer. So my ex-fiance, he came back. He was trying to come back over there, and Officer DJ grabbed him. And this is what he told me. I didn't see it, but I heard him screaming a lot, okay? I heard him screaming a lot. He said they choked him up by his necklace. Well, he said he grabbed the police officer because the police officer grabbed him. Then he said he grabbed the police officer and put the police officer up against the car. But I don't really necessarily believe that, because I never seen him manhandle nobody like that other than females. Okay, that's the only people I know that he beats, that he can beat up, is females. And I'm not trying to say that to be funny or to put the man down, but I mean his first baby mama, like, she told me everything he was gonna do, and everything she said, that man damn sure did to me, including putting my hands on me, because they used to get into it too. That's why I said this is a habit and a cycle for that man. This is the only man I ever cheated on, the only man I ever put my hands on. I wanted to grow and be better, because I realized throughout the course of this relationship, it was certain things I allowed and put up with for my own pain that I need to heal from and do better with. And I don't want to be putting my hands on my man. I don't want to be degrading my man. I don't want my man worried about if I'm messing with this person or messing with that person. I want my man to know I'm only about you and I respect you. Period. Okay? So I do want y'all to look at, like, your past relationships and things of that nature. Or just even with people, like, just with your damaged inner child. I want y'all to look at it and what is the lesson, what is the growth that I got out of this, okay? Because when I say I got a lot of lessons and growth out of this would develop me into becoming the woman that I am and knowing the type of woman I want to be for a man I actually want to commit to. Because that's the last relationship I was in. I ain't been in a relationship since, because all honesty, I've only come across one man I truly deep down wanted to commit to. And unfortunately, we are not together because my ex-fiance has chose to go out his way to find 6 out of the 7 men I have had sex with after him or dated. He has gone out his way to find almost every last one of them. And I know for a fact and for certain, my mama told him who he was, and somehow, some way, he got up in that man's ear. Because that man really did love me, and that man really treated me good. And that's the last man I had sex with 2 years ago. Somehow, some way, I don't know how, he got up in that man's ear, but at the end of the day, I still love him. And I don't care the fact that people broke us up on purpose or people separate us on purpose. At the end of the day, I know who I still love, and that's why I ain't had sex in 2 years. Because if I'm going to give my body to somebody, I don't care how much I flirt with them, this, that, and the third. If I'm going to give my body to somebody, it got to be somebody that reaches that standard that that man has. Period. Period. Now, I respect the fuck out of him because he dealt with all the aftermath of this shit. Now, according to my ex-fiance, though, he got choked up and they slammed him to the ground. That's what he said, and he got maced. Now, he did get maced. Okay, I'm not going to lie. He did get maced. But he only caught 1 Class 6 felony just for that one officer. I was in the back of the car. I'm like, what the fuck going on? I was able to get my phone out my back pocket, and I called my mama. I'm like, Mom, I'm in the back of a police car. She's like, I need to put my clothes on, this and the third. I was like, yo, I'm in the back of a police car. Come downstairs now. I'm like, yo. And she's like, well, I need to put on my clothes. Girl, throw on the coat and come on. Okay. Throw on the coat and come on here. So my mama come down and she's speaking to the police officer and stuff. Well, I think it was before my mama. Matter of fact, it was before my mama came down. She's speaking to the police officer and stuff. And I didn't know if my mama had came down or not, and I was waiting for her. And I'm hearing my ex-fiance, and he's fussing and stuff. And I had my head down after I got off the phone with my mama. I lift my head up. They shut the whole damn street down for us, y'all. couldn't nobody come down the street. It was so many police cars out that bitch. It was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. I said, what the fuck? I didn't even know all them cop cars had pulled up, yo. I didn't even know all them cop cars had pulled up. When I said they shut the fucking street down, I was like, all of this for us? Are y'all serious? But I could hear my ex-fiance. He was yelling and he was fussing and stuff. And I yelled, because, you know, they got a sliding window. So I put my head out the sliding window, and the window on the driver door was rolled down, and I yelled out the window, and I was like, just cooperate with them, baby. Stop fussing and just cooperate with them. Officer Gibbs gets his ass in the car, and as I'm taking my head back through the window, he takes the window and slams that shit into all of this. I mean, hit my teeth, my nose, everything. I was like, ah. And I'm like, why would you do that for? And he just laughed and got back out the car. Right. So we finally get taken downtown. If you've been in the back of a police car, once again, it ain't no room back there, bitch. I don't know how guys get back there. Because when I say short, it was scrunched up, though. And he driving all types of wild. I'm sliding all across the car and stuff. And I'm just sitting in the back of the car quiet. I get in the basement. They chain me up like a slave. I'm chained to the wall. But then they also took fucking chains and chained my ankles too. And I'm like, where the fuck I'm going? It's a fucking still door. Where am I going? So I end up having an anxiety attack and stuff. But as I'm starting to have my anxiety attack, I'm hearing them bring my ex-fiance in. And he's literally begging them, come on, man. Y'all ain't got to do this, man. Y'all ain't got to do this. Don't do this. Please don't do this, man. Y'all ain't got to do this. And I'm like, why are you begging them for? So I didn't know where they was taking him. And I started having an anxiety attack. Also, Brian come in there, and she was so nice to me. She's like, Nina. She's like, calm down. She, what is it I can do to help you? And I was like, I need my pump. So my mom and my grandma came down there, and they allowed them to come in there so I could do my pump, and they had to like spray it for me and stuff in my mouth so I could calm down. But I thought I was having an asthma attack, but come to find out I was having an anxiety attack, and that's when I started having anxiety attacks really, really bad. I did not have anxiety attacks until this relationship, bro. Whoo, gracious. So we ended up speaking to the magistrate, because me and him was speaking through the vent and stuff. And he was like, babe. And I was like, yeah. He was like, I wish we just would have watched the movie. Well, you want to be bucking on the police and shit? Like, damn. And when I ran into my homeboy Bezo later on, he was like, that shit wasn't supposed to go down like that. Am I responsible for getting into it with them? And should I shut up and stuff like? Yes, absolutely. But if you wouldn't not have put me in that position, bro, I wouldn't have been in that position. And that's the thing. And this is why I tell you, I do an energy circle check. You got to pay attention to people's patterns, habits, and their choices and stuff. Like, yes, people do go through hard times and work with certain people with where they at. But if someone is not adding any type of value to your life at all, and y'all ain't going in the same direction, baby, let them go, please, y'all. This is why I get up here and do what I do. Learn from my pain, learn from my mistakes. Please learn to love and value yourself, yo. Please, okay? Like, seriously, because I've been going back and forth for days. Do I do this? Do I not do this? I almost didn't do it, but I know they're trying to take my voice and my power from me, so I got to do it. Because somebody need to hear this shit, see? Somebody need to hear this shit, and God been on me to do it. And I told God, because they done spared me so many times, that I would do whatever they need me to do. And even when it's hard, it's somebody else's message, even when it's hard and something is making you fearful, you gotta remember who walking with you, yo. You gotta remember who walking with you, yo. You look that giant in his face, you slay that motherfucker, you hear me? Remember who walking with you. Cause boy, when I say, as much as my life is in chaos right now, I still got peace deep down, cause I know God gonna take care of me some kind of way, some kind of how, bro. I know they are. But they ain't gonna take care of me if I don't do what they need me to do. And I've been procrastinating long enough with this, so it's time. It's time. So we get in front of the magistrate, and he had so many fucking charges from before he turned 18, after he turned 18. She was like, yeah, your bail is set at $5,000. And she was like, Miss Nina, She said, you assaulted 2 of my police officers. Your first offender is out the window. Your bail is set at $5,000, which means we got to come up with $500 apiece. Right. So I'm like, yeah, I'm just pretty much going to sit here and wait for court. I already have my mind set up. I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to sit here and wait for court. I was calling my mama every hour to let her know, Mom, I'm good. I'm okay, this, that, and the third. I just so happened to be in a cell with a girl that was gay. And she was like, yo, you need to call Tigger. You need to call Tigger. And that just happened to be like the best bondsman at the point in time, right? And they was like, he'd be looking out for people. So my ex-fiance always whistles. Now, he was down one end, I was down the other end, but we could still hear each other. He always whistles. Just so happened, because I could not whistle, y'all. Just so happened, that night, Nina learned how to whistle. And this is what I mean by you could be so connected with a person, you have your own language. Tell me why we was having a whole conversation whistling to each other. And the officers, the deputies and shit, they figured it out. And they was like, y'all having a whole conversation with each other whistling? We rather y'all just talk to each other. But we didn't want to do that because we didn't want them to know what we were saying. But when I say we understood everything each other was whistling to, man. When I say, like, y'all, like, yeah, it may not worked out with me and that man, but I'm not going to deny the love I had for that man, and we did have some good times together. And even though this has been so painful for me, and I have shielded myself off from love, this, that, and the third, and I'm dealing with still going through stuff with someone I have not been with since 2010. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, but, you know, as far as in a relationship, though. But, I'm still grateful for the relationship, though. I was upset all week. I'm like, I can't believe this going on, this, that, and the third. Like, he always trying to keep me under his control, but fuck it, man. I'm gonna speak my truth. Who believe it, who don't. But like the OG say, truth is truth, nigga. That shit ain't gonna fucking change. And I know God got me. But and this is why I do the couch talks and the Sunday mimosas, because they help me with healing even if I'm not completely healed from a situation. And the fact that I'm on episode 3 and I'm starting to feel better and I'm starting to get in the space of forgiveness, and it's like I feel so grateful for that relationship now. I do, because it made me better. And I've been going through this since 2020. I know the man be bashing me on the internet. I just try to ignore it. I done got blackballed behind this shit out here. I don't get invited to shit no more because of the rumors between him, my sister, my mama, and a few other people. I got blackballed, y'all. I don't get invited to shit for real no more. So it's like I just isolated myself and been working on myself and trying to get my business and my life together. So even though I went through what I went through in this relationship, I'm still grateful, because if I wouldn't have got arrested, I wouldn't have had done community service. I wouldn't have been forced to be an entrepreneur and found out the purpose that God really created me for, which is not just to work a 9 to 5. So I thank y'all for that. So finally ended up getting a hold. Well, I wasn't gonna call the bondsman at first, because I just told my mama, I know you ain't got the money. I'm just rock this shit out and stay up in here until, you know, basically it's time for court or whatever. Because they said court start at 8, but I probably won't gonna see a judge till after 2. I ain't know that though. But what happened was I went to the bathroom. And I ain't know you couldn't get your own toilet paper, okay? That lady handed me 3-4 little sheets of toilet paper. I said, excuse me, miss. I don't know what's going on with your situation down there, but my situation gonna need a little bit more toilet paper. All I had to do was pee, but I'm gonna need more than 3-4 little sheets, okay? And it was an old school jail too, with the hole in the floor where you put. I said, this too much for me, boy. This too much for me. That's when I started realizing, yeah, shorty, this a whole different ball game, just like that police officer told you. It sure is. I came up out of there, boy. I went back and called my mama. I said, no, ma, come get me, girl. Come get me, girl. I called the bondsman. He said it was $500, and he said he was going to come get me. About an hour and some change later, my name got called. They got mad because I was smiling in my mug shot. They're like, you can't smile. So I did a little smirking stuff. I would love to see my mug shot, but I did a little smirking stuff. And I finally got out, and when me and him first got in there, when they had chained me up like a slave and I had the anxiety attack, we had made a pact with each other. Whoever get out first, wait for the other one. And I got out first. So I'm thinking, all right, well, we about to sit up here and wait because his mama came up there too. And I'm thinking, well, she hadn't came up there yet. And I get out and they was speaking to the bondsman about payments and this, that, and the third. But I think my mama paid the whole thing up front. And so it was still $500 for him, and we didn't have that. And neither did his mama. So we walking out and stuff, and he goes to go get in his car, and I'm like, no, we're not leaving. I'm waiting for him. They're like, no, Nina, we're going home. Let him figure it out on his own. I'm like, no, I'm not leaving him. I'm not leaving him. And when I say I was out there arguing with my mama and my grandma, and I'm like, I'm not leaving him. And usually I always do what they say. I always go along with what they say. Bro, when I say I stood my ground, I stopped walking. The bondsman started his car up, and he was about to pull off. And when I say this is when I started realizing the type of power that I got. When they say energy shapeshifter, boy, I let out this scream. This shattering scream. I lie to you not. The entire world didn't stop, but that little sector right there, that shit paused for a good 3 seconds. I let out this scream. And then I just completely sat down in the middle of the street, Indian style. I've never done that shit before. The entire world, or at least just that sector, that section, paused. It paused. And that's not the first, but that was the first time, but that ain't the last time I've done that shit. It's like everything paused. He was pulling off. By the time I sat down Indian style, and I just started crying. And it's like, I couldn't say the words, but it's like I was praying though. And he hit the brakes. And he backed up. He said, what's his name? And I told him his name. He went in there and got that man out for free. My mama got his mama, and she was supposed to pay him, in payments because she didn't have it. And because, he saw my love for him and how much I rode for him and just the energy I put out into the universe to free my man. My man got freed. When he came out, he had pepper spray all over him. It was choking me up and stuff, and he could not come back to the crib. Shorty was so upset. Shorty was so upset. So we had started the court process, but they kept extending it for the preliminary. They kept giving us another date and stuff. And his birthday was coming up and stuff too. So we want to spend time together. So he wasn't supposed to be there, but he would come and pop up and visit, but then he would leave because he didn't want to stay with his mama in that hotel and with her boyfriend and stuff. It just was a bad situation. I felt bad for him. So he kind of ended up moving back in. Okay, he did. He moved back in, but he had to sneak around. He had to go through the back. He couldn't walk down the street because there was a gap in the fence in the back. So he had to excuse me, I'm healing. Okay, I'm healing. So he had to walk through the back and stuff. So the police officer wouldn't see him, so he wouldn't catch a trespassing charge because we were still in court for the charges and stuff. And allegedly he got banned from the property, but couldn't find out his name wasn't up there. He didn't get banned. The police officer lied and said he was banned. His name wasn't on the list being banned from the property. But what the issue was, why we got arrested though, because the police officer kept harassing him because his ID did not match the address out there. And he kept telling him he lived out there, but he didn't have an ID that said that he did. So to the police officer, you don't. And all he had to do was tell me and my mama, and we could have went and got him put on the lease and went down to DMV, got his ID changed, and problem solved. But because he didn't do that, because he wants to be a man, it leads to all of this. I'm like, bro, all you had to do was communicate, and we could have got shit handled, okay? And we could have got shit handled. He had stopped hanging with the Navy boys after the whole entire thing happened with me cheating and stuff. And I cut all of them off, and I won't deal with none of them no more. I deleted everybody. Excuse me, y'all. I'm tired, but I told God we're gonna get this out. He's, for whatever reason, he decided he wanted to hang with the Navy boys again, because it was C's birthday. So they was going out, my ex-boyfriend Lou, the one that I dated in high school that they fought each other, neighborhood. All I know is when he told me he was about to go out there and who he was going out there with, I was like, I had this bad feeling. I was like, I don't think you should go. But I didn't want to control him. He was like, I'm just going out. I've been spending time with you lately and I ain't been going nowhere, this, that, and the third. And it was true. He has been spending time with me. That's because he didn't want to get caught and get arrested though. But he had been spending time with me and he just wanted to go out and drink this, that, and the third. And I understood that. So I was like, all right, go ahead, go. So even though I was like, you better come home to me. I just had this feeling. I had this bad, I'm trying to tell you, woman's intuition. I had this feeling. I said, you better come home to me. He said, baby, I am. I said, all right, well, call me and let me know when you're on your way home. Now, I expected him to stay out late, and that's why I told him to call me and stuff. Just so happened he called me and I was asleep. I was passed the fuck out. But he was calling just to check on me to let me know that he was okay and stuff and not to worry. So I go to sleep and I just wake up out of nowhere. And when I wake up, I don't wake up how I normally wake up. I woke up screaming and crying. And I didn't understand why. I just woke up screaming and crying and my head was hurting. And he wasn't there. And I just kept saying, don't leave me, don't leave me, don't leave me. And I didn't know what the fuck was going on. So I wake up the next AM, he wasn't there still. And I'm like, oh, he back up to his old ways and shit. And I was praying and I was like, I hope he's okay, I hope he's okay. Now, this is the thing. I had denounced my religion and I became conscious, but I became conscious before I met him. He walked in after. This is the thing. He doesn't, believe in all of that, like religion and, all that stuff there like that. So, even though I was conscious and stuff, and even though I won't rocking with religion, I won't reading the Bible anymore, I used to read my Bible from 16 to 18 to until he moved in. I was reading my Bible every day. That's how I got the tattoo on my back, Proverbs 3:14 through 18. I know they're speaking about wisdom, but when I read that when I was 16, I felt like they were speaking about me, so I got that tattooed on my back. But I used to read Psalms and Proverbs a lot when I was 16, 17, and 18. It's like I always was drawn to that. Like I was trying to grow. Because that really does help you grow a lot. Help you build your faith and help you build character too. So I did stop reading my Bible. But I didn't stop praying. But I wouldn't pray out loud in front of him. I would pray in my head. So that's what I mean by I didn't lose my connection with God. I may not have been as close to God as I was before that relationship. When I say I was getting real close to God at 16, 17, I was getting real close to God. Ain't nobody forced me to pick up my Bible. I just naturally picked up my Bible. I felt drawn to it. And it was always Psalms and Proverbs. And at that point in time, it was more Proverbs than Psalms. But I was praying. I was like, just let him be okay. Me and my mama went out, ran errands. I get a phone call. Where are you at? Where are you at? I was like, I'm glad you okay. I was worried about you. I'm like, we on the way back home. Why? He went and waited at Mike and Jesse crib and stuff because he couldn't be outside because he wasn't supposed to be on the property. He come to find out, he ended up he told me he got jumped that night, but I found out from somebody that was there that night because my ex-boyfriend, Lou, was there too. And it was a few other people that he had issues with. Oh, sorry, y'all. That he had issues with that was there. And come to find out, it was actually a one-on-one fight. He told me he got jumped because he got thrown in the garbage, y'all. And when I say thrown, them big green garbage or them big brown ones, dumpsters. He got thrown in the commercial dumpster. The boy beat him up and threw him in the commercial dumpster. And the reason why I woke up crying and screaming is because he hit his head or they hit him in the head with something. Because he had this huge mark on his head. And it knocked him out and they threw him in the dumpster. And he said that's where he woke up at. He woke up in the dumpster. And I thank God that he woke up. Because, he would have died. And that's why I woke up screaming and crying. And this is why you need a woman that actually invests in you and actually care about you. Because this boy don't even realize I kept saving his life. He don't even realize it. I kept saving his life. So I was working my job and I was in college and he was upset because he wasn't getting a lot of attention. And it's like I'm always doing homework. I was always working and he was supposed to be filling out job applications because when his job found out, the group home found out that he had got arrested and what his charges was, they fired him. I just so happened to have already been in the hiring process when I had got arrested, so it didn't pop up. Like the background check had already happened, so it didn't pop up. Whew, thank God, right? So I was working a job, only got paid $70 a week. I was working part-time and I spent majority of my money getting back and forth to work. My lunch when I was at school and at work was Doritos and M&M's. Sometimes I could afford a roll and some fried chicken from the deli on payday. But that was my lunch, y'all. I had to pay for bus fare to get back and forth. And my mama told me, you got to have it. You need to pay for it yourself. So I was paying for cigarettes and this, that, and the third. I was paying for his cigarettes. And then I was also giving him money that I was thinking he was going to go buy his daughter stuff. Because he said his mama's excuse, because his parents didn't raise him, and his mama's excuse for why she didn't come and see him and visit him when he was younger is because she didn't have anything to bring him. So he said the same thing about his daughter. I don't feel right going over there without giving her something. So I would give him $5-10 when he said he would go see her. And I'm thinking he's buying her something. He's spending on beer. He's spending on cigarettes. He's spending on weed. Because me and his baby mama had a very good conversation after me and him broke up for good. We had a very good conversation that filled in a lot of fucking blanks. She said he never showed up with anything for her. And he barely did show up. So it was times he told me he was going over there. And he was just telling me that just to get money out of me. Right. So, we ended up one day, he was walking me to the bus stop. Now, I will give him that. He would meet me at the bus stop with my mama at night and would, like, help carry, because I would be buying groceries and stuff for the house. He would help carry the groceries, or my book bag would be heavy with all them textbooks and stuff, and he would help carry that. But then it got to the point where he won't come in all the time. Now, he didn't have a phone, so he would be using my phone to get on Facebook, this, that, and the third. So, he had my phone. I had to get ready to go to work, and I was like, can you put my phone on the charger even if you're going to use it so my phone don't die while I'm at work? And so he walked me to the bus stop, but he on my phone the whole damn time. I'm like, can I get my phone? Can I get my phone? I'm still on it. I'm still on it. I'm still on it. I'm like, can I get my phone? We get to the bus stop. And I was like, bro, give me my phone. And he was like, you so mad about this stupid ass phone? Huh, take it. And he took my phone and threw it up in the air, yo. That shit could have went in traffic, got ran over, whatever. So I took my cigarette, cause I was smoking a cigarette, and I threw it at him. And he got mad cause I threw it at his face. Cause I didn't hit him in the face with it, but I threw it at his face. So he pushed me in the bushes, and he would hold me down in the bushes and stuff. And the cars on the boulevard was beeping at him and stuff, trying to tell him to get off me. Like, y'all, was just a hot mess. So it was another time when he was walking me to the bus stop so I could go to work. And we standing there on the boulevard, and the canines drive past us. And I'm like, what the fuck the canines driving past us for? I'm like, oh. But they went around the corner. I'm like, what the fuck they going around the corner for? Next thing we know, here come Gibbs. They come to arrest him because he got caught. Gibbs was watching us the whole time. He got caught. So they arrest him for trespassing, and come to find out they brought the canines out there for me. Come to find out Gibbs was scared of me. Yeah. That's the one I put on the ground. And the canines was out there for me. And boy, when I said, he told him come here, he was about to arrest her, I started walking up, boy, and that canine got the barking at me. I said, okay, okay, let me back my ass up, okay. And listen, shorty tough, and I fight when I feel like I got to. I'm not just out here fighting people, but I ain't about to fight no goddamn German Shepherd that's trained to fucking kill and attack. Fuck that bitch. I love you, I don't love you that much. Okay, not to get a chunk taken out of my ass, all right, I don't love you that much. So he ends up getting arrested. I called my job. I'm like, y'all, I can't make it up there. And they was like, well, either you come in or you get fired. And I was so frustrated. I was like, yo, I quit. I had just got paid. I'm like, about to spend my whole check to go get my man out of jail. I call his aunt. She come pick up me and my mama. We go downtown. Come to find out they already released him. Trespassing is a misdemeanor. He didn't have to get bailed out. I didn't know that. Just lost my job. Yay! Just lost my job. So we go through court. I get sentenced. And I get found guilty, and they sentenced me 6 months and suspended 5 of them, which means I had to spend a month in there. But I'm like, damn, I'm in summer school, and this, that, and the third. Like, I'm like, I'm missing class right now. Like, I'm not trying to do that. So we appeal it. We go to appeals court. And when we go to appeals court, we going back and forth, and they ended up separating us because we had to come to court together, and then we ended up getting, like, different court cases and stuff, like court dates and stuff. And at first, before appeals court, the police officers got to testify, and they came in there one by one and read off a paper what happened. I never during the entire court case, including appeals court, got to testify. I never got to tell my side of the story, bro. So we get to appeals court, and it's my day to go, and he didn't want to come to court. And I was like, no, you need to be there, and da-da-da-da. We done came this far, and that's when I started realizing the relationship is starting to fall apart, okay? So he didn't want to come to my appeals court date. Well, he did come, because he won't stay in there with us no more after he got arrested for trespassing. He couldn't come back. And I did show, and that's the fucked up part. I showed up to trespassing court for him, and I testified for him, and I defended him and laughed for him. Okay, like the fuck. But then you don't want to come to appeals court for me, and I'm out there. I understand I'm in court because of me, but you put me in that predicament though, bro. And he didn't want to come. So the lawyer, the state lawyer and shit. He popping shit to my lawyer. He was like, oh, she going down. Cause even a dog know a difference between a hit and a kick. And the judge sentenced me to 2 years. And he dropped it because I had to sign a plea deal. And my plea deal dropped my misdemeanor off completely. And it dropped my felonies down to class 1 misdemeanors. But it says assault on police officer. And that's what be fucking me up at the jobs. That's what be fucking me. Plus it's an assault charge. People still, even if it's a misdemeanor, people still look at it different. And that's what be fucking me up at the jobs, yo. So I get sentenced. And he said if you so much get a traffic ticket, you gonna do 2 years. I got 150 hours community service, and I had to do a year of good behavior, and I had to do probation. Once I completed my community service, I was allowed to get off probation. He just got sentenced 6 months, six months suspended. He didn't get, well, he got sentenced a year, and then they suspended the year. He ain't get hit with nothing. I got hit with everything though. And this is why, honey, you need to learn how to love yourself and work on healing yourself in between partners and things of that nature. Because even though technically he was my first love, but still I hadn't healed from the 2 relationships before that were also toxic that I broke down in the high school couch talk. So y'all, I'm going to go ahead and end it here because it's getting a little lengthy. I will see y'all in parts 4. Love you, babies.